In this video, I'm gonna be explaining the omit assertion, which is a TypeScript feature, and from TypeScript 3.5, it's part of the standard implementation. But I'm gonna be explaining how it works internally, like the mechanism, and how you can create your own custom omit assertion. Without further ado, let's just get into this. So, for example, let's say you create a type of iPhone that is expected to have you expect the iPhone to have like a model, and the model is meant to be a string. You also expect it to have like ID, let's say, and that should be like number, and you expect sim type, right? Because you can use like sim in your iPhone, right? And that is supposed to be string. All right. With this, you can create new iPhone, new new phone of type iPhone. And this can be model X. Let's say the ID is 1 or 2 3, and the sim type is Elisa. So this works, no issue and stuff like that. If you try to put something else, this shouldn't work. It should complain. So this works right now. But imagine you want to also create another object. For example, you want to create an iPod. And of course, Apple just released this iPod. I don't know who would be willing to use an iPod now, because of course you can always get that benefit when you're using an iPhone. So let's say, for example, you want to create an iPod and you need an interface for it. So let's say like you create a type iPod. Of course, you can like create that separately, and let's say I'm copying this. Actually, I could do this, right? And this is in this scenario, you don't have a lot of like properties, so I mean it's not bad. But in some situation, let's say you have like 20 properties and you want to create a new related object, and you just need to exclude some properties from the parent object. You want to exclude some properties so you can use the subsets in the child object. Then like copy pasting all your code, I don't think that's efficient enough. That's also like redundant code and unused code. I mean, excess code everywhere. So, and that's where this comes into rescue. So what we can do in this kind of like scenario, because now of course you can't do like iPhone here. Okay, so you can, let's say we try to create iPod, new iPod, and let's say that is model whatever, and we have the ID to be 123. Okay, that works. But if we want to reuse this, if we want to reuse this iPhone type, it should be possible, right? So what we can do in this case is, think about it, we can exclude this same type property from this. And that's exactly what we're going to do. This is the manual implementation. I just want you to understand how this works. I just want to explain how this works. So first, what we can do is we can say type other types equals. So we're trying to exclude, right? We have this keyword in TypeScript. So what we're doing is we're trying to exclude this same type property from iPhone, right? And a way you can do that in TypeScript is you need to get all these properties here. And how can you get all the properties? You say key of iPhone, right? So this gives you model, ID, and sim type. That is what it returns. Like it returns model, like model ID and same type. This is what key of returns, right? I'll just copy it. Key of iPhone would be is this. So let me just put that in the comments so you can follow what I'm doing. So this returns this. So now you want to exclude same type. You don't want that property, right? So what happens when you exclude this property? So when you exclude this property from key of iPhone, basically you're left with model and ID. And now you can do like type iPod can now be, there is something called peak, and this is how peak works. Here you're basically trying to pick all these two types, ID and model, from all this iPhone. This only gives you like the keys, right? Like when you exclude sim type, it gives you model and ID. So now you want to pick model and ID from iPhone type, like the interface. So how you can do that is you can say you first have to specify the type, which is iPhone. So from iPhone we want to pick other types, right? And now we can use this as iPod, and that works. So if we try to add like same type here, same type, this should now complain. This shouldn't work because we've excluded same type. Now this is not the new stuff in TypeScript. This is just the problem that this is trying to like solve. So like now what this omit keyword try to solve is like create a custom implementation. So instead of doing this, because like this is kind of like common use case. So instead of doing this, we can create a custom implementation, which is now part of the standard library, and that is omit. So what are we trying to do? Let's just copy this now, pick, and put it here, right? So these other types, we can just basically copy this whole thing and put it here. And if you understand how generics work in TypeScript, we can create this generic interface, and this T would be our iPhone. So we can replace iPhone here, T, and also replace iPhone here, T, with T. And next, we need the key that we're trying to exclude from the original interface. In this case, for example, if you're trying to exclude SIM type from iPhone, which is K, and K now would be the SIM type, which is the key you're trying to exclude. But that's not all. Of course, you want to extend the key of T. So in this case, let's say iPhone, and key of is going to return this 3. All right. So with this now, we can basically, instead of this, I'm going to comment this out. We can just say type iPod equals omit, and now we can include iPhone, the type, and also the property that we're trying to omit, right? And this still works. So if you're trying to do something like same type again, this is not gonna work. Whatever, it's not gonna work. And this is really nice if you have like huge object and you just need subset of the object, then this comes in very handy. So this is how you can create your own custom implementation. But actually you don't have to anymore, because this is now from TypeScript 3.5 moving forward. This is part of the standard implementation, and you can just use this as is. And I think this is really a nice feature, and at least you don't have to always write this every time. I mean, it's not so much code, but I mean it's a common use case. So that's it. Again, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.